concrete Central Hall, Las Vegas Convention Center in Las Vegas. And lots of going on happenings around here today. Lots of people stopping by just to say hello and shaking hands. And, you know, people are in here kicking tires and what have you, checking out all the new equipment. Some for seminars and meetings, of course, but a lot of contractors having a good time. And with me is one of the fellows from the Las Vegas area, from Las Vegas Paving, in fact, and it's Bill Wellman. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to meet you.
Well, I understand you're the recipient of a couple of brand new highway trucks.
We are.
And they're Caterpillar branded, which, of course, as everybody knows, it's about a year-old product that's come onto the market. Can you give me an idea of what your configurations are?
These are just cabin chassis that we bought. We constructed a fuel lube truck as one of them.
Okay.
Ourselves in our own shop, and the other one is a volumetric mixer from Cementec.
A couple of bins to it, two, three.
Couple of bins and cement silo. It's one of their largest machines. We have many of them, and we're excited to have this particular one on board with us now.
Does your company maintain their own aggregate sites and what have you, or job out to various
absolutely.
places? Yeah,
absolutely. Many around town.
Now,
here.
on an average, let's say an average month, how many projects would you have going at the same time?
Oh, probably 70 or 80.
Really?
Yes. Here.
So you're a big operator here in this area.
Absolutely.
How many pieces of equipment? How many employees do you have offhand?
Oh, about 1,000 employees right here, and probably about 3,000 pieces of equipment.
Well, let me ask you, how's the economy doing in Vegas? Is it coming back? You guys got a smile on your face?
We have no reason to complain at this particular moment.
That's
it's
great.
coming back a little bit. It's not what it was. But
that's great. Is there anything in particular that sent you into the CAT idea as far as if you were hunting for equipment and buying trucks?
We've heard about it. We have a great relationship with our CAT dealer here. I mean, a good portion of our equipment fleet is Caterpillar, and we've had a great success rate with them, so we're trying
we had the pleasure last year of visiting Cashman, which is the distributor of CAT products here in this area, and they have just a beautiful facility out in adjoining Henderson, which is right next to Las Vegas. And I'm sure that's an important part of anybody's decision, regardless of what you buy. It's the service and the follow-up and everything else that's going to come to you.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, it's good having you. Appreciate
Great.
you stopping
Great to
by.
be here.
And we're going to be hearing from the folks at TopCon in a couple of minutes, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Cool. Very good. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Good luck with the new truck.
Hi, I'm Jenny Lesko here, editor of Rental Magazine. I've been with the magazine for 16 years. In my time working on Rental Magazine, I've seen some of the most dynamic times the industry has experienced. There's been some of the most prosperous times as well as some of the most difficult times. Throughout it all, I've noticed that my readers are some of the most resourceful business people you'll find anywhere. They've made it through mostly because they know that being a partner with their customers is the key to good business. The magazine goes to 20,000 people, and they cover all of North America and everything from small mom and pop stores all the way up to the big corporate chains. We've kind of hung our hat on covering product, new products, product application, selection, and maintenance. But over the course of the past year, we're trying to move, while still focusing on that, we're moving toward covering some of the deeper issues that our readers are facing, some business issues as far as like equipment acquisition, equipment disposal, things that really make them tick in terms of running their business. So it's just a very subtle change for us. We still cover product, but we're just broadening our scope a little bit. You can reach me at 800-547-7377, extension 1647, or email jenny.leskohair@cygnus.com. or on our Facebook page, Rental Magazine.
Back streaming live from World of Concrete 2012, and this little machine, I'll call it, right here in the desk in front of me, I can just picture myself in a big rubber parka with a rubber hat out near a searchlight,
oh, yeah.
and holding this thing, and it's bing, 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 it's going.
Right.
Anyway, Bill Painter's with us from TopCon, and I got to tell you, this is kind of interesting. Does this go hand in glove, let's say, with the equipment that goes on your machines?
Oh yes, yes. This now controls our GPS systems for stringless paving, stringless concrete paving.
So we're doing away with the guys having to put stakes in the ground and pulling string and all this.
Absolutely.
We're coming into the modern world, hook, line, and sinker.
That's
and
correct.
We're saying, that's going out, this is coming in.
That's correct. So what that
What
does
are the
is,
attributes of this? I mean, as opposed to somebody wants to do it the old way.
sure. Well, what this does is it saves on material costs along with the cost and time that it takes to set up that string that you'd mentioned. So this eliminates that string line and allows the guys to get out, get it done quicker and more accurately.
Now, can this also be used, will this be able to tell it levelness and depth as far as grade and evenness, and there's other factors involved with this?
Sure, that's correct, Sam. And what it does is we can check grade now from this as well.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly. So after we've poured our concrete, we can go out and check grade with this, as well as it's running the machine and giving the machine the position that it needs to be in.
So this is totally portable. I take it it's battery operated.
It is battery operated.
And it's something that a worker would carry with them?
Yes, well what the worker would do is he would actually set the instrument up on a tripod,
Right.
and they would use that to run the job. And as they move the machine along, they would also move this transmitter along. And in most cases, we'll use 2 or maybe 3 on a job site.
So this is like a transponder?
Yes, this is actually a laser.
Okay.
And it sends out a wall of light actually it's a little unusual.
Crisscrosses and...
Well, it's actually more of a wall of laser beam.
Really?
Yes, you know, the old lasers would send out just a small thin line.
One thin line.
Exactly. Well, this one now sends out a wall of 33 feet of laser.
Wow.
So that now we can be anywhere in any type of terrain,
Right.
and allowing us to run our machine and stay within the working area of this laser.
And it doesn't matter if the flow of the terrain or the grade or anything, it's just...
Nope, as long as it stays within that 33 feet of light.
Is this different? Is this millimeter
This is
technology?
millimeter accuracy, yes.
Okay, and the difference between this and, let's say, the old is just more precise, more in-depth?
Yeah, more precise, or as precise. But
Okay.
again, the real magic of it is the amount of laser light that it puts out. Again, so we can go through all types of terrain and still hit the receiver
All right.
on the machine.
Okay, I understand. So
Yeah.
you've got a receiver at one side and this at the other, and you're moving it, and this can be all captured, I suspect, on some sort of a computer program?
Yes,
That an
it can.
engineer could look at and say,
Sure.
this is off a little, or that's
Right.
going to be a...
Certainly. Before we go and do any kind of paving though, we've already got our plan made out. We already have our file, our model built, and we put that into the machine, and then the machine follows the model. And then with the assistance of this, it keeps it in the model.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's all compact, very nicely done. Laser zone, it's part of the millimeter GPS technology, and the folks at TopCon are amongst the leaders in the industry as far as new innovative products. And Bill, I want to thank you a lot. Bill Painter
you.
from TopCon,
Thank you
stopping
very
by
much.
at our booth here in Central Hall.
You bet.
Thanks
Thank you.
a lot.
You're welcome.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Everybody here, it's just been really wonderful to us today. We've had such a good time. Lots of things going on, lots of people to talk to, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Okay?
Thank you
Bill.
very much.
Business tips. Actually, I've got a program we've done called 101 Business Tips for contractors and owners. Let me give you a couple real quick. Number one, you've got to know what your cash flow is on a regular basis. One of the biggest mistakes I find with contractors, especially smaller contractors, is that they don't always know what their cash flow situation is. So that would be one. The second thing that I find very useful is that a contractor has to have a preventive maintenance program on his equipment. One of the things that a contractor will let slip many times, because the business may be busy, is that they won't do work on their equipment, make it maintain. And you and I both know 9 times out of 10 that equipment breaks down at the most important time that you need it working for you during the workday. The other thing I would say with you, another tip that I'd present to you, is that you need to find a way to be able to maintain a relationship with your customer base so that you can spend time with them planning for their future work. How many of you have literally had repeat customers? Most of us have. That's how we make a living. But we don't always know exactly where they're looking at in their budgets for the next year. You take the extra time to spend some strategic time with that customer, getting engaged with how you can help them save money in the future, and I guarantee it'll put money on your bottom line. Yeah, scheduling's a little different episode. I mean, it's a part of that. The whole planning of the job, here's what I like to call it. When a contractor hits that job site, I think one of the first things they need to do is take in the full scope. What does that job look like? Where are we going to be at? How are we going to stage our people? Where are we going to stage our equipment and our tools? I think it's a real mistake for contractors to show up at the job site and not take that extra 3 to 5 minutes and plan out the order, how we're going to move our people, and if you have materials being delivered, how's that material going to be delivered? Where's it going to be delivered to? Some of us work in some pretty tight spots, as you know, and so we don't have a lot of greenfield space just to throw things around anywhere we want. The other part of planning, which is important on the job, is to make sure you know exactly where things are at. I talk about how much looking for stuff costs employees, and it's very incredible the number of hours that are wasted every day by employees who don't know where to put things back or don't know where to get things from. So you need a plan in terms of where we're going to keep things, where we're going to stage items, whether it's on trucks or on the ground, so that when you hit that job site and your guys really start working, that we can maximize the profitability for their work. A lot of things are changing in the industry. Certainly we're getting older in this country, so we're finding younger individuals, whether they're contractors, superintendents, foremen, whatever the case may be, department managers. They have an older workforce that they're having to adapt to. That's big. The other thing, obviously, real obvious, is the whole high-tech industry. It's changed the whole field of construction. I mean, I've never seen so many iPads and smartphones out there with pretty smart people anyway in the construction field. That's changed quite a bit for leadership. And then the whole issue of speed. We've just increased our speed in construction. Customers want their projects done faster, whether you're paving, you're doing drywall, you're doing concrete, they want it done faster. And so in order to do things faster, you have to have a plan. So that there's a big emphasis today in planning for the leader. You got to pre-plan, you got to prepare, you got to have your equipment ready to go, you got to have your materials ready to go. And that's caused a lot of increase in decision making, and you got to do it faster than you've ever done before. Those are probably the 3 of the biggest changes I've seen in the roles of the leader. One of the best areas I might be able to provide some consulting for you through this newsletter is in the area of marketing. It's the hottest topic for any owner. You can't start a business without having some discussion about marketing. So what is marketing? Well, marketing is really trying to separate yourself, differentiate yourself from your competition. I hear contractors all the time telling me the first thing they tell a customer when they first meet them is we provide quality. We're a quality contractor. Guess what? They've heard that 100 times in the last 2 weeks for bid. So we have to separate ourselves out. The gurus in marketing have a term called USP, a unique selling proposition. And so as a contractor, while you may in fact do quality, and you need to talk about that, you need to separate yourself though from your competition. Why is your quality any better than the competition? When you buy into the newsletter here, you're going to get a weekly update and some advice coming from not only what I've learned, but what I've learned has not worked for some contractors. And I want to share that with you, give you some insights so you don't have to make the same mistakes that other contractors have made in their past as well.
Okay, back here live at World of Concrete 2012. We're at Central Hall, 4129 Convention Center, Las Vegas. So stop by if you're here at the show. And if not, you can certainly take us with you on forconstructionpros.com or Twitter or Facebook or any one of the social network sites. Speaking of networking, I've got a gentleman here with me right now who's in the industrial distribution supply, and as we all know, we all get catalogs and things in the mail, but these are absolutely necessary if you're a business guy. And Greg Palmer is here, and Greg, tell me about some of the stuff that's in this catalog, and this is brand new, as I understand, to the marketplace.
That is correct. This our catalog just came out. It is actually hitting the streets right now as we speak. As we speak, right now, it's in the mail.
Okay.
We have over 95,000 products on reedsupply.com, about 60,000 in the catalog itself, and we have a number of new products. Everything from knobs, handles, hand wheels, clamps, safety supply.
Well, I was leafing
metalworking.
through it. I mean, everything under the sun, and that's of course necessary, and you need as much information and resourcing as you can possibly get in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. We try to reach out to as many different industries as possible, and the World of Concrete, this is our first year at World of Concrete. We're very excited about it. This is a great industry for us, as everybody who's here, whether they're exhibitors or whether they're customers looking around, we have all the products that they could possibly need in their
Can I ask
operation.
you, how long a period of time would it take you to put something like this together?
Catalogs usually take anywhere from 7 to 12 months.
Really?
Yeah, it takes quite a bit of time, a lot of effort, a whole team effort on our side to put it together. And the catalogs are interesting because this particular catalog is color coded. So we make it as easy as possible for customers to find what they're looking for. So if you had a black and white catalog, for example, you'd look in the black and white section all the way through. Whereas if you're looking for clamps, you're in the red section, or knobs, handles, hand wheels, you're in the blue section. So we've done what we can to make it as easy as possible for customers to find what they're looking for.
Well, that's great. I'll tell you, this is a really nice thing, and as you can tell, it's very colorful with all of the different sections in color. And it's particularly nice because, as we all know, we're looking for everything from buttons to clamps to wheels to drill bits to you name it, and you've got to have a resource available in order to get these products. So, Greg Palmer, appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Reed Supply. If you're not on their list, well, give them a call.
Thank you so much.
Or stop by. You're at booth number what?
Booth S, it's way in the corner in the back.
In the Central Hall?
It's in South Hall.
South Hall.
South Hall.
South Hall.
What, 918.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, 918. It's way in the back.
South Hall, way in the back.
You'll find us.
Okay, send out the dogs if you get lost. They'll find you one way or the other. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate you stopping by.
All
right, World of Concrete, as we move along, we got a lot of people yet to talk to this afternoon. We want to talk to one young fellow from a concrete company in California. His name is Tom Ralston. He's in the decorative concrete industry, and we're going to talk to him in just a moment. So stand by. Did you want a break?
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
You want a break?
A lot of things are changing in the industry. Certainly we're getting older in this country, so we're finding younger individuals, whether they're contractors, superintendents, foremen, whatever the case may be, department managers. They have an older workforce that they're having to adapt to. That's big. The other thing, obviously, was real obvious is the whole high-tech industry. It's changed the whole field of construction. I mean, I've never seen so many iPads and smartphones out there with pretty smart people anyway in the construction field. That's changed quite a bit for leadership. And then the whole issue of speed. We've just increased our speed in construction. Customers want their projects done faster, whether you're paving, you're doing drywall, you're doing concrete, they want it done faster. And so in order to do things faster, you have to have a plan. So that there's a big emphasis today in planning for the leader. You got to pre-plan, you got to prepare, you got to have your equipment ready to go, you got to have your materials ready to go. And that's caused a lot of increase in decision making, and you got to do it faster than you've ever done before. Those are probably the three of the biggest changes I've seen in the roles of the leader. One of the best areas I might be able to provide some consulting for you through this newsletter is in the area of marketing. It's the hottest topic for any owner. You can't start a business without having some discussion about marketing. So what is marketing? Well, marketing is really trying to separate yourself, differentiate yourself from your competition. I hear contractors all the time telling me the first thing they tell a customer when they first meet them is we provide quality. We're a quality contractor. Guess what? They've heard that 100 times in the last 2 weeks for bid. So we have to separate ourselves out. The gurus in marketing have a term called USP, a unique selling proposition. And so as a contractor, while you may in fact do quality, and you need to talk about that, you need to separate yourself though from your competition. Why is your quality any better than the competition? When you buy into the newsletter here, you're going to get a weekly update and some advice coming from not only what I've learned, but what I've learned has not worked for some contractors. And I want to share that with you, give you some insights so you don't have to make the same mistakes that other contractors have made in their past as well.
Moving right along, we've been talking to all sorts of folks here at World of Concrete, including contractors and manufacturers and distributors and what have you. And we've got a gentleman here representing the decorative concrete business. Tom Ralston is a contractor, concrete contractor in Santa Cruz, California. And Tom, I understand you won some awards for your projects.
We did. We won an award this year for Best Cast in Place Specialty Finish from the American Society of Concrete Contractors. And it was a project that took us about 4 months to do.
Wow.
It was something that we designed in-house. It was almost $200,000 when it was all said and done. It was about 186 yards of concrete.
Wow.
And we used 4 different colors, many different textures, and at the end of it all, we put in a new product that I have called the Lumi Lumi, and it's an aggregate that with 10 minutes of sun, direct or indirect, it glows for 10 to 12 hours.
Every day in a
Every
cycle?
day, and it's free. There's no batteries.
Is this like some luminescence or
It's
something?
luminescent. It's like phosphorescent. And a guy from Toronto flew down. He says, "I've seen your work in magazines before, and I think you're just the guy that's crazy enough to develop something in concrete that would really be good for the industry."
Well, it's unique, is it not?
It is. And so now we have these little luminescent louvers that we can retrofit onto steps in dark places. And I don't know if you could see this, but this is actually the project right here, and then the Lumi ball is up above. I gave it to the homeowner. It was a $250 value, and since he was such a great client, Ted Ruppel is a great client, I gave him a $250 Lumi Lumi ball. So that's what he got. And anyway, the project was something that we really enjoyed working on, because it was a hillside that was overrun. It had just rocks and old railroad ties.
Sure.
And so we sketched it out on paper, and we designed it, and I designed the structural components and then ran it by a structural engineer to get his blessing, and we moved forward, and it turned out stellar.
That's it. That's the name of the game, isn't it? I mean, your net result has got to be something quite positive, and whether you win an award or not, it's got to be certainly self-proclaiming on your part to say, yeah, we did that.
Absolutely, and it was such a win-win project because the owner got more than what he expected, and we formulated a relationship and a friendship that will last a lifetime. And he is totally enthusiastic about his job, and here we won an award for it. It's just a byproduct of a wonderful project.
Tom Ralston, concrete contractor, decorative masonry, Santa Cruz, California. And he's one of the guys that represents this industry, and he's having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. We'll be right back with more from World of Concrete 2012. All right, Tom, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks. And where do you
Consulting for you through this newsletter is in the area of marketing. It's the hottest topic for any owner. You can't start a business without having some discussion about marketing. So what is marketing? Well, marketing is really trying to separate yourself, differentiate yourself from your competition. I hear contractors all the time telling me the first thing they tell a customer when they first meet them is we provide quality. We're a quality contractor. Guess what? They've heard that 100 times in the last 2 weeks for bid. So we have to separate ourselves out. The gurus in marketing have a term called USP, a unique selling proposition. And so as a contractor, while you may in fact do quality, and you need to talk about that, you need to separate yourself though from your competition. Why is your quality any better than the competition? When you buy into the newsletter here, you're going to get a weekly update and some advice coming from not only what I've learned, but what I've learned has not worked for some contractors. And I want to share that with you, give you some insights so you don't have to make the same mistakes that other contractors have made in their past as well.
I'm Rebecca Wozaleski, and I'm the editor of Concrete Contractor magazine, and I've been working in the construction industry for about 7 years now. Concrete Contractor reaches about 29,000 readers in the cast-in-place concrete industry, but we also have about 50% of our readers who are involved in decorative concrete, and even more looking into getting into decorative concrete. And now a lot of our readers are into polished concrete. Any contractor that's going to pick up Concrete Contractor magazine is going to see information about new products, industry news. They're going to see profiles of other contractors in the industry so they can get an idea of what they might want to work toward in their businesses. We also have engineers who write articles for us for the concrete contractor to give them that professional background for the industry. If you want to get hold of Concrete Contractor magazine, you can email me at rebecca.wasaleski@cygnus.com, or you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/concrete contractor, and we're also on Twitter with the Twitter handle @.
Well, as you all know, working in the concrete construction business, every surface has to be flat.
Indeed.
And the idea is to make it that way quicker, easier, and of course, where you can make money with a product. Robert Model is an engineer with the business development end of concrete products in Wacker-Neuson. And you guys have a new trowel, I understand.
Yes, indeed we do. We've got our new 60-inch fully hydrostatic trowel with electronic over hydraulic steering. That's sort of the first in the industry. Most of the competitive units are all hydraulic, and we use an electric steering system, which gives us an advantage of having a computer system on board, and we can customize steering programs for the operator. And right now the machine has 2 different steering choices, and the operator can switch back and forth at his preference.
Really? That's just amazing.
Yeah, and we've got a patent pending on that.
You do have a patent pending. Tell me, what would something like this be used for? Is there a basic minimum size for application for
Well, anybody that's
like
doing larger pours, probably over 10,000 square feet, but it can be used on smaller pours as well.
Floors and
yeah, slab on grade, generally speaking. Some tilt-up walls, things like that. You know, larger pours where you want a good flat surface,
right?
And you know, things you're laser screeding off. So those are the primary applications.
And is there also a significant feature about these new machines that has not been part of your product line before?
Well, we've got 2 additional patents pending on the machine. One is our engine droop control, which is, I guess you compare that more to like an automatic transmission in a car or your truck. You know, as you're going uphill, the transmission needs to downshift to keep the load going, to keep the engine in the sweet spot. And that's what our machine does. As it's sensing the engine speed, and if the engine speed starts to pull down, it'll actually back off the hydrostatic pump a little bit, slow down the blades a little bit, but keep the engine in its prime operating range.
Sort of a matching system as you go along, and whatever the project is and how far it has to go, and what the challenges are for the operator.
Right. We also have a built-in hydraulic wheel kit that solves several problems. You know, it's built in, so the parts are always there. It's hydraulically operated, so there's really no effort from the operator. You can raise and lower the machine, and it raises up about 6 inches, so you can change blades or pans without having to call in a forklift or a crane operator to help you with that.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really nice feature.
That's got to be a great thing for a contractor that's working on a site and hasn't got a lot of personnel around.
Correct.
And has to change out a blade or what have you.
Yeah, one man can change the blades himself. There's a removable ring guard section, so you have easier access to the lower unit, and it's a nice feature.
That's called engineering, is it?
Yes, it is. We've got a top-notch engineering crew that really does a great job.
Well, I'll tell you, it's amazing. Some of the products coming out, just being introduced or been on the market the last few months. And of course, Wacker-Neuson is amongst the leaders in that field. But And you've got your trowel challenge.
Indeed we do. We're out in the silver lot outside by the food and beer tent area.
We've got our trowel challenge. We got out there this year, do you know?
Visitors, a lot. It's been really busy, as it is every year. The trowel challenge really draws the people in. And we're running that challenge with our special 48, our chrome-plated 48 with the Briggs & Stratton engine. And it draws a lot of interest.
And is there a prize at the end of this for a winner?
Indeed, there is a prize. The winner of the challenge ultimately for his company wins the trowel.
Whoa!
And the operator for himself wins a trip for two to the Caribbean.
Gee, can I be taught how to run?
Good luck. The times are fast.
Robert Model at Wacker Neuson, and thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we like everything you do with your company.
Come on out for a ride.
Oh, I just might have to do that. I've been on cranes and dozers and backhoes and
ride on trowels are fun.
But I've never ridden a trowel.
Oh, they're fun. Come on out. Come on out. We'll get you on one.
Hey, we'll be right back with more from World of Concrete 2012.
I'm Rebecca Wazaleski, and I'm the editor of Concrete Contractor magazine, and I've been working in the construction industry for about 7 years now. Concrete Contractor reaches about 29,000 readers in the cast-in-place concrete industry, but we also have about 50% of our readers who are involved in decorative concrete, and even more looking into getting into decorative concrete. And now a lot of our readers are into polished concrete. Any contractor that's going to pick up Concrete Contractor magazine is going to see information about new products, industry news. They're going to see profiles of other contractors in the industry so they can get an idea of what they might want to work toward in their businesses. We also have engineers who write articles for us for the Concrete Contractor to give them that professional background for the industry. If you want to get hold of Concrete Contractor magazine, you can email me at rebecca.wasaleski@cygnus.com, or you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Concrete Contractor, and we're also on Twitter with the Twitter handle @ConcreteInsider.
So hi, my name's Tara. I'm the editor of Sustainable Construction magazine. I've been with Cygnus Business Media for 16 years now in various editorial capacities, and most recently I've become the editor of Sustainable Construction for about a year now since its inception. We reach contractors in all aspects of sustainability. So any contractor that's interested in sustainable construction practices would read our magazine, from site prep all the way through to LEED and green building. There seems to be an information gap for the contractors, so we're really focusing on them specifically. We really focus on job site practices, we focus on contractor profiles, we focus on new products for the sustainable market, anything a contractor would need in order to earn a bid for a sustainable construction project. So we are posting our magazines, which are digital currently. We have one print issue. We put those onto fcp.com, the website. We also have an iPad app that we are delivering out as well. So readers can go ahead and download our iPad app too. You can reach me by email or by phone. You can also go onto the website. But my email address is just my first name, Tara, T-A-R-A, and my last name, Ninman. So tara.ninman@sustainableconstruction.com. Might be easier to go onto the website and just click email me, or you can always reach me by phone.
Today's worker is different. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And it's not just because we have some of the age differences that we've mentioned before. I think we have a different work culture today. And I think some of the contractors and business owners that I've dealt with in the last 20 years have had to radically almost change the way they've led. Number one, certainly the laws of our land dictate to us that we almost have to be much more forgiving than we've ever been. It seems like a lot of employees say, a lot of contractors will say, I can't get rid of that guy, I'd love to fire that guy, or I wish he'd change. Well, you got to physically get involved with some of these employees. I think leaders, especially contractors, have got to spend more time with their workers than they probably have ever spent before. I think they need to show them a little bit more attention than they've ever done before. And that's beside the fact that we need to train people. Technically, we're really missing on some skills. There's a lot of contractors in the United States today, especially, who are a little bit scared with the new workforce coming in, not having that mechanical background as a kid growing up. You know, the stereotype Midwest work ethic is really leaving us today. So we have some differences coming into the industry. We have less skilled people, so we're going to have to teach them. We have people who are needing to work in a teamwork fashion, so we got to build teamwork. Those are pretty important issues. That's what I bring a lot to contractors, and hopefully do that with our writings and our articles to help them build better teamwork, teach them how to become trainers, and that's something also a leader as an owner has never had to really do. You don't really have to teach a lot of your people. You got to teach them.
Hey, we're having a heck of a good time here at World of Concrete 2012. If you're in the Las Vegas area, stop by. We're at the Convention Center in the Central Hall, and we've been talking to people from all aspects of the construction and concrete industry. And one of my old pals is here with me right now. It's Kevin Coleman. He's with Caterpillar, and we're going to talk about D-Series skid steers and a whole new lineup of products. How you doing?
Good to see you, Roger.
Nice to see you. What's new coming out of your line?
Oh, we're very excited to be able to be here this year and introduce our new D-Series skid steer loaders. That's our Tier 4 interim product that we're bringing to the marketplace. It incorporates 4 new models. 2 replacement models, our 272D and our 299D. Which replace our C-Series, and then 2 new high-performance models, our 299D XHP model and our 272D XHP model.
It's just amazing what the Tier 4 ramifications are throughout the whole industry, and of course you people are really keeping busy day after day. With the other CAT equipment that I've seen this year, it really was a basic remodeling because you came up with a new engine to meet the specs and the mandates. The company re-engineered the entire product. Is this the same for the skid steers?
Absolutely. You know, we obviously had to meet the requirements that are set forth by the government, but we wanted to do more than that with this D-Series update. We wanted to bring more performance to the customers. On all 4 of these models, we've increased our lift forces by about 19%, so the machines really lift. On our new two new models, our XHP models that I referenced, the 272D XHP and the 299D XHP, we've really brought the performance out and really upped the performance on those machines. They're going to have 106 net horsepower out of those with much improved torque curve. So we'll really put the power out, but it's not all about what's in the back end and the power plant, but it's what you do with that power plant, how you put that power to the wheels and to the front bucket, and in this case into our work tools. Our hydraulic system, we've changed our hydraulic system, so now we'll be producing about 95 hydraulic horsepower to the tool, which is about 40 with our 40 gallon a minute at 4,000 PSI hydraulic system. So we've really upped the performance on these machines, and we've got some new exclusive features.
That's a great matching.
Another one of the big benefits on all 4 of these models, we're going to have a couple of exclusive features for skid steer loaders that have never been available in the marketplace. Electronic dual self-level, which allows us to monitor the load and keep it level as you raise your arms, as well as when you lower your load. Have better controllability of your load, better stability. We think it's a real plus for the operator to be able to do that. We also have a feature we're going to call return to dig, which is just like what you've seen on larger equipment, like on our wheel loaders, for example, but it's the first time it's been available on a skid steer loader. It'll allow you to cycle their machine faster by being able to return your arms and your bucket.
All part of the intelligence built into the machine.
Yep, that's part of our, what we call our intelligent leveling or iLev system.
Right.
We also have a work tool positioner feature, which allows you to take your work tool and configure it to a certain angle and then be able to return that tool to that angle so that you're much more productive. If you've got a trencher, a broom, power box rake, whatever it is, you can put it back to the right
angle. And the brain's contained on the machine.
Absolutely, it's part of our electronic system. You know, we think that we've brought some features to the marketplace which continue to further our position as a technology and controllability leader in the skid steer world.
Well, you sure are. We're pleased to have CAT as one of our sponsors on our programming with 4 Construction Pros and from Construction News Tracker as well. Kevin Coleman, I appreciate you stopping by, taking the time out of your day.
Always a pleasure.
Happy to see you.
Good to see you.
Again. And we'll be back, so don't go away.
One of the reasons I think that the newsletter will be helpful to you is that I'm going to bring to you some insights on how to deal specifically with some of our workforce. You know, I have some fun talking about the 3 levels of our workforce with our employees today. The top 20% are the people I call thoroughbreds. You don't worry much about those folks. Give them a direction and they get going. The middle group, 60% of our workforce make up what I call the fence sitters, the folks that are kind of just waiting to be told what to do on a regular basis. And then the bottom 20% are the carp. The bad thing about the carp is that many of these carp are very good technical people. What I want to do for you is, in bringing to you some consulting through these newsletters, is to give you some specific how-tos of how to work, how to lead your thoroughbred, how to lead that fence sitter to get productivity out of them, and how to keep that carp focused on the things that give you more productivity. That's what we're going to try to do through the newsletters, give you some of those practical how-to tips. I'm real excited to share with you some tips through our newsletter on decision making. Not only that you make better decisions, but also helping your staff to make better decisions. One of the things I find from owners and contractors, again across the world at times, is that they are always a little bit timid when they hand a decision off or hand a task off to an employee that has to make a decision. So therefore, to take that fear away, what we try to do is actually teach the owner and the contractor to teach their people how to make decisions the way they do. Come on, let's be real honest on this. In decision making, number one, you need to know what the whole situation is. Number two, you need to know what your resources are. Number three, you need to know what the consequences are going to be in those decisions. What are the potential consequences that come back to you, good or bad, that can take place? And then finally, you just have to have the guts to make the decision. But on an owner side, when you have an employee that makes a decision, the other side we want to always add is we want to make sure that employees are going to make mistakes. They're going to make the wrong decision. We want to correct those decisions. We want to give what was famously called years ago the 1-minute reprimand, the correction, but then get them right back on track. Always ask them, how did you come to make that type of decision? Correct that and then move on and give them a chance to get right back in the saddle and make another decision within a short amount of time as possible to get them over that fear. Those are kind of the tips, expanded, and others that we want to share with you on that can help you from a consulting standpoint through these newsletters.
Hi, I'm Jenny Lesko here, editor of Rental Magazine. I've been with the magazine for 16 years. In my time working on Rental Magazine, I've seen some of the most dynamic times the industry has experienced. There's been some of the most prosperous times as well as some of the most difficult times. Throughout it all, I've noticed that my readers are some of the most resourceful business people you'll find anywhere. They've made it through mostly because they know that being a partner with their customers is the key to good business. The magazine goes to 20,000 people, and they cover all of North America and everything from small mom and pop stores all the way up to the big corporate chains. We've kind of hung our hat on covering product, new products, product application, selection, and maintenance. But over the course of the past year, we're trying to move, while still focusing on that, we're moving toward covering some of the deeper issues that our readers are facing, some business issues as far as like equipment acquisition, equipment disposal, things that really make them tick in terms of running their business. So it's just a very subtle change for us. We still cover product, but we're just broadening our scope a little bit. You can reach me at 800-547-7377, extension 1647, or email jenny.leskohair@cygnus.com, or on our Facebook page, Rental Magazine.
Well, we got to keep going here as long as we are going with World of Concrete 2012, another few minutes at least. And I'm hearing a lot of audio feedback for something or other, but I don't know where it's coming from. And it might be coming from this, but I don't know. It could be. Anyways, with me on the set is Jeff Wilkie, who represents Kohler Engines. I tell you, you got to have power. Everybody's in the business for power these days. And you guys have really come along with a solution for DPF.
For Tier 4, correct.
Yep, Tier 4.
Correct.
Everybody's talking Tier 4 at this convention. And rightly so. I mean, it's mandated. Here we are. It's facing us. We got to do it.
Right.
So what have you folks come up with?
We have two brand new engines, a 1.9 liter and a 2.5 liter, that are actually developed from the ground up, brand new, to run clean enough that they don't require a particulate trap or DPF.
None at all?
None at all. So our Tier 4 solution is less DPF.
Now, and by saying that, by not having DPF, then obviously you don't need any sort of a supplemental fluid for it.
Right. Our power range is up to 55.4 kilowatts.
Okay.
So that's right under that emissions level, where it doesn't require SCR or urea, as you were referring to.
Right.
But in most cases, most engines, competitive engines, are using a particulate trap to filter the exhaust to reduce the particulate output, because that's a very stringent requirement for 2013. Anything over 19 kilowatts in the U.S. market has to meet this new emissions requirement.
Can I ask what parameters or what particular areas of focus you use that would meet EPA regulations on this matter?
We actually had to do several areas. We had to do, as far as exhaust emissions, CO, nitrous oxide, those are all considered as far as that, and as well as particulate matter. So to meet the new specifications that are going to happen in 2013.
No, does this improve efficiency and operation capacity?
We took a technical approach, with innovation, and we did it with a high-pressure common rail system, 4-valve head. We centrally locate the injectors in the center of the combustion chamber. A lot of work was done on the nozzle and the spray pattern. We also use cooled EGR, as well as turbocharging and a DOC. So you need all those elements in order to get an engine that would run clean enough. And along with that is the engine design itself. The block construction is built as such so that it's very rigid, and the bore stay round for the life of the product. And that gives us good oil control, because oil consumption is also a contributor to particulates. So being able to develop an engine that runs as clean as it does, we need to control that as well. So those were all elements that were considered in the engine design right from the beginning, and that was, our intent was to be non-DPF, because we saw that as a challenge for the end user as well as the OEM. So your question was, does it give us advantages?
Right.
Yes. Fuel savings, because with electronic fuel injection,
I was just going to ask you about fuel savings for the potential end user. Is that significant?
So going from a mechanical injected engine to this electronic common rail injection system, you have an improvement in fuel economy, as well as the fact we don't have to feed a DPF for regeneration. So we don't have to provide diesel fuel to the DPF for it to regenerate. So there's definitely going to be a savings compared to another engine that would use, say, a particulate trap.
Does this have any effect on the so-called NVH process, which is noise, vibration, and
harshness? Yes, it does definitely. Because we have better control of the combustion process, we can inject up to 6 times per cycle.
Really?
Yes. So with doing that, we have, again, control over the combustion process, and so you don't get that pre-ignition knock of what you're used to hearing in diesel engines. They're a lot smoother, a lot quieter. We've done a lot of work in our NVH analysis and development of the engine too. So we got a bed plate structure, so it keeps the block rigid and absorbs some of that noise. We use multiple teeth in the valve train for driving the gears, and so there's a lot of tooth engagement. That helps reduce noise as well. So yes, there's a lot of elements considered as well as keeping the noise down. So noise savings, or quietness, fuel savings, the maintenance intervals will be extended. Because the engine runs cleaner, we have less particulate contaminants getting into the oil.
And you don't have to be constantly monitoring that DPF filter.
Right. So we don't have to service a DPF, but our oil change intervals are 500 hours and 750 on certain applications.
Really?
So we're able to extend
That's
those.
quite expensive.
Right. So, and then plus the fact that we have better oil control, we have less oil consumption, so there's less cost for top off with oil as well. So there's a lot of benefits with this new product and new technology that's come to the table.
So, folks, if you're at the show, of course, they're here at the show, Kohler Engines are. And if you're not at the show and you want to get more information, Kohler Engines, Kohler.com.
Correct.
That would be it. Jeff Wilkie is here, and I'll tell you, you got to look at these new engines if you're in business and you want to meet the federal guidelines and the mandates that are all facing everyone. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, so don't go too far away.
I'm Becky Schultz. I'm the editor of Equipment Today magazine. I've been with Cygnus Business Media for about 20 years. The large part of my responsibility of roughly 17 years has been spent on Equipment Today, so pretty dedicated to the construction marketplace. We reach about 78,000 end users of construction equipment. Reaching the commercial construction contractor, and that can be businesses as small as a single operator who has a small fleet of construction machines, on up to multi-million dollars or even multi-billion-dollar construction fleets. Each issue we include stories that focus on selection, application, and maintenance of the equipment, as well as how they can better manage those assets. Our primary focus is ensuring that they can become more profitable in their businesses. The other thing that you'll find in Equipment Today is a large selection of the latest products that are available that contractors can use on their job sites. You can reach me via various means. You can call me at 920-563-1677, or you can email me at becky.schultz@cygnus.com. We also are online via Facebook and Twitter at Equipment Today, so we'd love to have you join us there as well.
One of the things we can really help you with, and I want to bring to you through this newsletter, is to give you some actual business tips. Actually, I've got a program we've done called 101 Business Tips for Contractors and Owners. Let me give you a couple real quick. Number one, you've got to know what your cash flow is on a regular basis. One of the biggest mistakes I find with contractors, especially smaller contractors, is that they don't always know what their cash flow situation is. So that would be one. The second thing that I find very useful is that a contractor has to have a preventive maintenance program on his equipment. One of the things that a contractor will let slip many times, because the business may be busy, is that they won't do work on their equipment, make it maintain. And you and I both know 9 times out of 10 that equipment breaks down at the most important time that you need it working for you during the workday. The other thing I would say with you, another tip that I'd present to you, is that you need to find a way to be able to maintain a relationship with your customer base so that you can spend time with them planning for their future work. How many of you have literally had repeat customers? Most of us have. That's how we make a living. But we don't always know exactly where they're looking at in their budgets for the next year. You take the extra time to spend some strategic time with that customer, getting engaged with how you can help them save money in the future, and I guarantee it'll put money on your bottom line.
Hey, welcome back to forconstructionpros.com and the World of Concrete 2012. We are streaming live from the Las Vegas Convention Center, and I'm happy to introduce you now to Jeff Gerard, who is founder of the Concrete Countertop Institute. We're talking concrete now this week. Remember, concrete.
Gotta love concrete. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to be here.
Tell us about the Concrete Countertop Institute, would you, sir?
Well, I founded the Concrete Countertop Institute, well, it's been about 7 years now. And our mission is to train and educate contractors who are really wanting to get in the business of making concrete countertops. We provide in-depth technical and business support for them so that they can be successful in turning this really exciting idea into something that's successful for them.
Well, I'm hearing about all sorts of new techniques and innovations for polishing and sanding and configuring concrete.
Right.
And is this really one key part of what you're doing?
It's one dimension
is training
of it.
people how to work with this.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure there are many formulations for concrete as the mind can come up with.
What we focus on is not just concrete. Concrete's definitely an important, it's the material that, say, a countertop's made out of.
Right.
But it's the technique of making the end result, the product. Is it a countertop? So what goes into making a countertop? Sinks and faucets and things like
Sure.
that. And how do we take a customer's idea, maybe a homeowner, they have this idea, this vision, and it's an emotional vision as well as a practical need. And how can we help a contractor fulfill that vision? And that's out of concrete. So it's everything from the beginning to speaking with the customer to the end to support them after the countertop's installed. So it's not just about making pretty concrete, it's about being successful with the entire project. And what we do spans countertops. It goes into architectural concrete, fire pits, water features, indoor concrete, outdoor concrete, wall panels, showers. So it's not just countertops, but that's certainly the exciting application that a lot of people are drawn to, and that's how they come to see us.
It's a matter of communicating the fact that this is available to the general public. Absolutely. And all these aspects are, as opposed to the alternative surfaces that we all know are plastered all over the big box stores, so Absolutely. To speak, and you can go in and pick A, B, C, or D, but this you can really custom make and custom, I want to say, finish.
Absolutely.
For a customer that says, I don't want A, B, C, or D?
Absolutely, absolutely. The majority of the population, or the majority of the market, is satisfied with off-the-shelf home center type products. Right. But concrete countertops are a niche market, and they really appeal to people who are looking for something special. It's like you would like a handmade suit rather than going to a men's store to buy a suit. So concrete countertops or concrete in general gives the end user the ability to have the input of what color, what texture, is it polished, is it matte, does it match the fabric on the curtains, is it polka dotted, does it light up, does it glow in the dark? That's all possible. And so a lot of the technologies here at World of Concrete, the polishing, the staining, the dyeing, that all can be folded into concrete countertops. So what we do is reflected throughout many of the technologies here at World of Concrete.
For those folks who are out there who are watching on forconstructionpros.com, I presume you have a website. Absolutely. If they're having interest, and where can they go to find more information about your institute?
Our website is concretecountertopinstitute.com, and there you can find information about architectural specs, standards we've written for concrete countertops, training that we have hands-on training, as well as self-study training. So if somebody doesn't want to travel to see us, they can learn how to do it from a technical engineering standpoint, all on their own.
Jeff Gerard, who's the founder of the Concrete Countertop Institute, I thank you. It's been very informative.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming by. And we'll have more as we go right along here with lots of other news and information and products and things to talk about from World of Concrete 2012. Hang around, will you?
A lot of things are changing in the industry. Certainly we're getting older in this country, so we're finding younger individuals, whether they're contractors, superintendents, foremen, whatever the case may be, department managers. They have an older workforce that they're having to adapt to. That's big. The other thing, obviously, is real obvious, is the whole high-tech industry. It's changed the whole field of construction. I mean, I've never seen so many iPads and smartphones out there with pretty smart people anyway in the construction field. That's changed quite a bit for leadership. And then the whole issue of speed. We've just increased our speed in construction. Customers want their projects done faster, whether you're paving, you're doing drywall, you're doing concrete, they want it done faster. And so in order to do things faster, you have to have a plan. So that there's a big emphasis today in planning for the leader. You got to pre-plan, you got to prepare, you got to have your equipment ready to go, you got to have your materials ready to go. And that's caused a lot of increase in decision making, and you got to do it faster than you've ever done before. Those are probably three of the biggest changes I've seen in the roles of the leader. One of the best areas I might be able to provide some consulting for you through this newsletter is in the area of marketing. It's the hottest topic for any owner. You can't start a business without having some discussion about marketing. So what is marketing? Well, marketing is really trying to separate yourself, differentiate yourself from your competition. I hear contractors all the time telling me the first thing they tell a customer when they first meet them is we provide quality. We're a quality contractor. Guess what? They've heard that 100 times in the last 2 weeks for bid. So we have to separate ourselves out. The gurus in marketing have a term called USP, a unique selling proposition. And so as a contractor, while you may in fact do quality, and you need to talk about that, you need to separate yourself though from your competition. Why is your quality any better than the competition? When you buy into the newsletter here, you're going to get a weekly update and some advice coming from not only what I've learned, but what I've learned has not worked for some contractors. And I want to share that with you, give you some insights so you don't have to make the same mistakes that other contractors have made in their past as well.
I'm Rebecca Wazaleski, and I'm the editor of Concrete Contractor magazine, and I've been working in the construction industry for about 7 years now. Concrete Contractor reaches about 29,000 readers in the cast-in-place concrete industry, but we also have about 50% of our readers who are involved in decorative concrete, and even more looking into getting into decorative concrete. And now a lot of our readers are into polished concrete. Any contractor that's going to pick up Concrete Contractor magazine is going to see information about new products, industry news. They're going to see profiles of other contractors in the industry so they can get an idea of what they might want to work toward in their businesses. We also have engineers who write articles for us for the Concrete Contractor to give them that professional background for the industry. If you want to get hold of Concrete Contractor magazine, you can email me at rebecca.wasaleski@cygnus.com, or you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Concrete Contractor, and we're also on Twitter with the Twitter handle @ConcreteInsider.
Oh, things are starting to come to a head here at World of Concrete 2012. Been a very busy
May I have your
day.
attention, please? At this time, the exhibit hall is closed for the day.
See what I'm saying?
The hall will reopen tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
I can't beat that. I can't talk over it. I can't talk under it. I can't talk away from it, so I just let it go.
Sounds good.
I'm happy that you put up with it. Mike McKeish is Director of Programs for BAE Systems, and it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
You folks have come up with a hybrid propulsion system, have you not?
Yes, we have. Actually, we have been in the hybrid propulsion system business for a long time, for close to 20 years.
What's the latest? What is the absolute newest?
The absolute newest is that as of, well, last year we've introduced to the public a new family of products for the commercial truck market.
Right.
For vocational trucks specifically. It's a heavy-duty solution for classes 6, 7, and 8 to complement our existing series system that we have been delivering to the transit bus industry for the last 14 years or so. So that it's a parallel system for the truck industry that basically will provide reduced operational costs, will reduce the cost of ownership, save fuel in average. We've measured so far on specific duty cycles a 30% average savings, more in some duty cycles. Will also reduce emissions. Will improve the productivity and of the actual vehicle, the ability of the vehicle to complete its task and duty cycle in a shorter period of time, and also will improve overall the performance of the vehicle as a tool for the end user to carry out their business.
The parallel propulsion system is interesting to me in that these are tied together via what? Intelligence?
Yes, actually the reason why it's parallel is because the system blends the power and torque from the combustion engine and the electric system. So instead of pulling all the power and the torque for just the engine, which is not efficient all the time,
right,
the intelligence in the system will actually blend enough power from the engine to keep the engine at the highest efficiency point, and then compensate and bring the additional power from the electric system.
I understand how you're talking.
So,
very interesting. And of course you made a big announcement today, a joint announcement with Caterpillar, that you're going to supply your systems to, what is their on-road trucks?
No, actually the partnership that we've announced today is an LTSA, long-term supply agreement. We have been working with Caterpillar for the last 2 or 3 years at the onset of the program, the development program. The LTSA sets Caterpillar as a supplier of their CX family of transmissions, automatic transmissions, to BAE, because the CX family of products is a component of our hybrid system. So we have a 20-year agreement that includes the supply, the warranty, the production pricing, and that basically establishes the transmission and Caterpillar as a strategic supplier and partner to us. And actually the philosophy has been to put together, in addition to the most advanced and efficient technology, cost-effective technology, is to provide the best-in-class warranty and field support and aftermarket support. So that kind of led us to selecting some specific partners, and one of them is Caterpillar.
So tell me, if you would, sir, what is the net benefit to the end user of let's say, deciding to go with this system? Is it economic? Is it more tuned to the atmosphere and the environment? Is it all of the above?
It's really a combination of all the above. It's a package where the drivers are reduced operational costs by reducing fuel consumption, reducing engine maintenance, because by using the hybrid system, you're not pulling more torque and power from the engine as you would. You're also extending the life of the brakes, because the regenerative braking that the hybrid system is capable of to save fuel is actually taking heat from the brakes and storing it in the battery and reusing it to propel the vehicle later on when it's needed. So there's that operational cost, reduced fuel consumption, that in turn results in reduced emissions, so environmentally very friendly, and also helps with the national, again, fuel security and energy security in general. And then there is the aspect of just the productivity. Again, a hybrid system allows the vehicle to operate more dynamically, in a more responsive way dynamically, so it completes its cycle faster, and the driver has a better responsive vehicle, so smooth shifting, smooth accelerations, more torque when you need it, and less fuel consumption, less emissions, quieter operation when needed. It supports electrification of accessories, so all the above.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you stopping by, taking the time out of your very busy day.
Thank you for having me.
Mike McKeish from BAE Systems, and stop by their booth here at World of Concrete 2012, or certainly access them by the web at baesystems.com.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Thank you. And that kind of wraps it up for us today at World of Concrete 2012. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So we certainly hope that you tune in, join us as we bring you more information and innovation and new products and lots of other things to talk about from World of Concrete 2012. Have a good day.